Welcome, Taurus, to your Taurus March 2021 reading. It's great to see you. Great to see the subscribers, in particular. My love and affection to you. We have a great fun here, don't we? In our club, The Great Secret of the Universe. Of course, I've seen a number of you for private readings recently, haven't I? It'd be great to get to know you personally, and if you would like to have a private clairvoyant reading, I use a little bit of tarot, but the main thing is psychic and clairvoyant, then just check out the information that's in the description box below. But now, we're going to take 5 cards for your tarot reading to see what is in store for you for this month. Now, I love this deck. This is one of my favorites. So let's see what there is. Well, they're all my favorites, really. The Star. Very pretty picture there. The Hermit. All right, Taurus, what's this one? The Nine of Wands. Very good. Gee, very, very fascinating imagery on this. I think you're going to enjoy it. There's the Page of Wands. And finally, what's here? The Two of Swords. Okay, come and have a look at the artwork on these cards with me. It's all original art. And I'll tell you what's in store for you for this month of March. Next month's reading will be published on Wednesday the 10th of March at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. Fascinating spread of cards here for you. Why don't I let you have a look at this card first, which is the Hermit. Now, what a great looking hermit this is. What can we see about the imagery here? Well, first of all, what we can see is the hermit himself, an old man, carrying a lantern which is shaped like an hourglass. And he has a staff here. Do you notice this staff that he's holding? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 roses on it. And 7 roses are a symbol for the 7 unfolding stages of life, from the bud until the full-blown flower. At the bottom of it is a snake devouring its own tail, and that is a symbol for infinity. Now, looking at his hat here, and here's Mount Athos in the background. Mount Athos is on the Greek peninsula, and there are about 20 monasteries up there for monks of the Greek Orthodox faith, and this hat is reminiscent of that, and so is this cloak, although it looks like it's been dimmed, faded by the sun, and underneath it a garment of straw showing simplicity. There is a little harbour here. Here's Mount Athos. Now, the other thing which is interesting for me is this figure of the whale that's here. Now, you might remember that there is a book in the Old Testament or Hebrew Bible called the Book of Jonah, and Jonah was saved from drowning by being swallowed by a whale. And after then being coughed up by the whale, he later went on to save the city of Nineveh from destruction by God in that story. Now, what can we say about this here for you? Well, first of all, there's a lot of Virgo here, so there's a lot of earth element, quite similar to your own. And I'm seeing Mercury ruling Virgo with Mercury exalted. He is the prophet of the eternal, this old guy, the magus of the voice of power. And you might find that you become a mentor to somebody, I think, or a counselor to somebody. Not in a professional sense, but in a sense of them coming to you and asking for guidance and help as to how they may deal with a situation, how they may resolve a quandary that they are facing. A little period here where I think you'll find that the advice that you give will be good. It's almost as if you are illuminated from within, kind of like a divine inspiration. You'll have a degree of wisdom towards you, perhaps even retirement. This will be a time of finding your own light, of going inward, completing those things that need to be finished off, resting in your own center. I think it also suggests that you might need to get away from a situation in order to get a better insight into it. And you might find that you become aware of something that you were previously unaware of. To know that once you're aware of it, you can't become unaware of the thing. Maybe you'll spend some alone time for soul searching and recalibrating your energy. There is a need, I think, for you to get in touch with your untapped wisdom and accept your aloneness during this time. You will be one who will not compromise your values. I think that this is saying that either you will want either a significant relationship or none at all. Now, this could relate to a romantic relationship where you want one which is deep, that goes deep into the soul and into the heart. Or you want significant friendships or significant relationships to do with your social circle or business things. There may be a need for you to complete things from the past before moving forward. And I think that you'll be quite gifted at working with your hands during this time. You're going to be a very good organizer, I have to say, and this is the Virgo quality that's coming into it. And it could be a time, I think, also for you to look after your body and spruce up your surroundings. Accept your aloneness if you spend time alone, and don't concern yourself with people who don't understand you, who'd rather see you be part of the herd. You're not like that. Have you any unresolved situations or relationships in your life? Well, make a list of all the situations which you now want to resolve or in some way bring to completion. Because whoever embarks upon the search for the internal light must not be encumbered by unresolved conflicts. Accounts must be settled. You understand that, don't you? But say to yourself, I enjoy my aloneness because I can stop being alone whenever I want. I enjoy the feeling of completion and resolution, and I will not compromise that which is important to me. Very, very good message coming to you from that card. Now, it might be that there is therefore some time for you to dig deep into yourself, because I'm going to look at this Nine of Wands. Well, here we have what could be, well, they look like Robin Hood's merry men, don't they? They're all lined up here, kind of higgledy-piggledy on top of each other. Drunk, I've got to say. Drunk. They've had the day on the liquor. But here are a couple of ships coming in. Now, who are these guys in these ships? I think they might find that they have something that they need to do rather quickly, given the arrival of these ships. These guys are also, you might notice, they're all spread out in the color of the rainbow, as it seems to be there, the various colors of the rainbow that we see here. This is the Lord of Great Strength, and it is the moon ruling the second decan of Sagittarius. Now, in the number 9 here, I have a mystical association with the moon as well. So the moon in Sagittarius and the moon in the numerology, we have a double lunar influence. And so there will be the need. And the moon deals with things, you see, like the subconscious, with going within, with digging deep, with drawing up to the surface those things that are in you. Now, this speaks, I think, of you obtaining power through unifying conscious and unconscious energies. There is a determination about you during this time and a great strength of character. You will have courage under fire and defending what you have worked for, defending your material being, and you'll have a great belief in yourself. Now, the energy associated with this card here is about endurance, the ability to endure, to go, to work through things. And where you may, in alignment with the lunar influence, reach deep into yourself and discover new depths of strength and power that you never thought you had. Now, you may encounter obstacles, of course, but the point is, you will have the strength to overcome them. Now, when this card turns up like this here, in the center energy, with the Hermit and the Star placed above it as they are here, you can be reassured that you have what it takes to get by, even in times of difficulty and stress, inner strength is going to rise up and guide you towards your goals. And in the process, you'll learn more about yourself and your abilities, and you'll gain an all-round new perspective, which brings security and self-confidence. I think you'll be in the process of discovering your real strength, so trust your inner guide. You may want to take part in groups that can help you develop and unfold your potential. You can do that physically or do it over the internet. Are you perhaps a little afraid of your own strength? Sometimes people can be. And in what areas in your life does this fear come up? And I think it's probably important that you pay attention to your dreams at this time. But say to yourself, I know more and more clearly who I am, and this recognition leads to the full development of my potential strength. Well, having covered that, where shall we go? We'll go here. Here is the star. Now, I love this card, and not for the obvious reason, but let's have a look. Here we have a young woman, long blonde hair, trailing to the earth, connecting her to the earth. Naked, of course. Now, you might know your ancient Greek architecture and art. In this hand, there is a Doric, that's the type of architecture, art, Doric simple, meaning rustic, earthiness, which connects her with earthiness and says she has an earthy personality. This one is far more refined, which speaks of elegance and it speaks of intelligence. There's a Rosicrucian rose here, reflected in the waters. I won't go into that because we don't have time. A couple of hills in the background. And on here is an acacia tree growing, and that stands for wisdom and divinity. Now above her is an 8-pointed star and a 5-pointed star, and here are representations of the classical planets. That is before the outer planets were discovered, and they were the ones where astrology was mostly developed, as you would already know. Beautiful, beautiful picture, very beautifully scented and beautifully colored, I think, and I love that. Anyway, I won't go into the artistic side of it. What is important is that it is Saturn ruling Aquarius with Neptune exalted. She is the daughter of the firmament, the star, and every woman and every man is a star. Well, Saturn ruling Aquarius. Aquarius is all about the individual and uniqueness, and yet it has an overall humanitarian outlook, I think, doesn't it? You find that with Aquarian people. Well, the star shares these qualities in that it is trying to remind you, it's come here to remind you about the divinity and uniqueness within you, while encouraging you to be a beacon, a conduit for bringing down your highest potential. This is about hope and promise with respect to the unseen, inspiration, self-recognition, a trust in yourself and a connection to universal intelligence. It speaks of, there isn't a bad side to this card. It speaks of hope and happiness, opportunities and optimism coming your way, and help in all forms. So you'll have self-confidence and good self-esteem. And it's a time to increase both of those. And I think you'll also have a desire to bring something new, which is the Aquarius aspect of it, to do with things at the moment and things that you're interested in. Now, what this is also saying to me is that I think that this is a time where you will be feeling fulfilled and inspired by life. A reminder for you to follow your dreams, which give you the most inspiration, and to be open to love and trust creation and what it brings. Encouragement is now being given that, although I think you've probably had some testing times in the past, haven't you? Well, now is the time to move forward with renewed hope and live an inspired life in which you can express yourself fully. Let your star rise and stay in contact with the earth, just as she does here. She's in contact with the earth, but while dwelling in heaven. Trust your environment and find ways to let others share in it. You will be tested and recognized by the fruits you bear. Maybe ask yourself, are you totally fulfilled in your present area of work? How can you make your present area of work more enjoyable for yourself? Check to see if you are doing everything possible to bring your ideas to fruition, and say to yourself, I am a radiant light being. I am a star that walks upon a bigger star. I see what can be of benefit to people around me and to myself. And I go out into the world with love, hope, and joy. Fabulous. Let's have a look at the 2, shall we? What's this 2 of Swords got to say? Well, here we have 2 strong warriors, by the looks of it, don't we? Meeting under a cloudy sky. Here's the clouds up here, and they shake hands in a token of friendship. Well, they could destroy each other, but their solution, it seems, is to have a formal friendship. The pale warrior on the left here represents yin. Now, you've heard of yin and yang. Well, yin is the feminine principle. So this warrior here represents the feminine nature. A snake is on his helmet. Yeah, and a dragon, by the looks of it, is on the hilt of his sword. Now on the right is yang, or the masculine type. His face is more coloured, isn't it? And he has on his helmet foxes, and also on the hilt of his sword. Now it's interesting that they seem to have developed something of a pact, but agreed to not attack one another, because this, for me, is the Lord of rest from strife. And it is Jupiter ruling the 3rd decan of Libra, 14th to the 22nd of October. Well, Libra tries to find a balance in our lives. The need for balance can sometimes induce unrest. Libra can also induce indecisiveness from time to time. Jupiter in Libra. Jupiter gives you a period of rest from a difficult situation, as well as opening your higher mind's flexibilities, which is needed to resolve conflicts in life. And Jupiter allows you to move on. So there's a real sense here of being calm, centered, clarity, spiritual cleansing, I suppose, recuperation from activity, and agreement, as can be taken from the art on it, taking a break from things. This suggests to me that there is the need for you to take time out from a stressful situation. Maybe even a holiday if you can find the time or you can afford it, to recharge the batteries, or just have a mental health break at home, because I think a mental health break may well be needed. Now, conflicts, they don't go away, but time out from them is needed. Make the most of the mental health break, but don't put off anything which needs to be dealt with, as unavoidable things can grow to become bigger or more challenging. And trust your intuition to know when is enough rest for you. Make the most of this break that you take to be at your strongest when you need to face the issues at hand. You have enough inner clarity, I think, to successfully carry out your plans. Be sure at all times that you feel good about what is happening. What supports or what hinders your clarity? Check your surroundings. Make them comfortable, peaceful, reassuring. Rearrange them if necessary to support calm and centeredness, and say to yourself, I am at peace within myself. Well, let's have a look, shall we, at the, is this the last one? I think it is, isn't it? This Page of Wands, that's here for you. I'm getting a lot of Leo around this, a lot of Virgo and a lot of Cancer, so these people could well be important to you, but it also has things to say for you, particularly. Let's have a look at it. Well, here we have a man of color. This is the uniform almost of the suit of wands. He has a lion's skin draped around him. See, there's the head of the lion and the tail is going off into this cinders or ashes. This club that he's obviously been recently freed, this person, because you can see a green ankle bracelet around him. And this wand is facing downwards and pushed into this bed of cinders. There is an orchid growing from the wand here. There's also a flower on his hat. And in the background here, there's a lush, verdant, fruitful jungle which is being threatened by the fire that's there. Now, esoterically, why do I feel that there's some threat there? Well, it's not a threat to you, but what it does is it's talking about an energy. And the energy is this, is that as the Page, now I'm going to refer to this as a female, because I'm getting a lot of female energy about it, but of course court cards can be both male and female. But as the Page, esoterically that's earth, and in fire, well, they get on okay together. But there is some drive associated with this young woman, I think. This is the Page of the Shining Flame, the Rose of the Palace of Fire. Now, this is a person who is omnivorous in passion, has passions for all sorts of different things, passions of whatever kind, and is entirely reckless in the means of obtaining gratification of those passions and appetites. The person is something which is kind of insatiable. Now, a young woman, perhaps, who is energetic, individualistic, brilliant and daring, expressive in love or anger, and really quite enthusiastic. The character of the person here is, I think, extremely individual. She creates her own beauty by her essential vigor and energy. She bedazzles, and you will bedazzle. And put your seatbelt on, because this month people are going to find you to be very attractive. Now, do with that what you will. Now, in anger or in love, she is sudden, violent, and implacable. She's ambitious and sometimes irrationally enthusiastic about people or projects. She never forgets an injury either, you know, and the only patience to be found in her is the patience with which she lies in ambush, waiting to spring her revenge. This is a time when your old fears will have lost their power over you. Their dead remains cannot frighten you any longer. Reflect now on your greatest strengths. So I think that what will happen is that you'll find that you are confident, daring, exciting, nonconformist, I think, in a way, freedom-loving, and certainly ambitious, and people are going to love your character and energy. Now, on the dark side of you, you may be vengeful, temperamental, unruly, maybe even cruel in a way. I don't pass any judgments. But this energy here means the conquering of old fears and patterns of thought. You've brought them to the surface and conquered them, even though I think it has to be said that you have often learned your lessons the hard way, haven't you? But ask yourself, what is the next step in your life? Find it fearlessly. Learn about ways of transforming fearful feelings. And say to yourself, my greatest strength is, and then fill in the blank. And then go on and say this, As I accept my fear, it is transformed into love. What a fascinating spread of cards for you. Well done, Taurus. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed doing that. What a fascinating reading, and what a great month it looks like it's going to be for you. Now, please do me a favor, press the like button. It's good for the YouTube thing, and it's good for the channel. I appreciate it. And look, there's one thing I want you to remember until I see you next month, and it is this, and remember it always, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.